Welcome back to Decentralized Application Development Crashcasts. I'm Sheila, and if you're enjoying our podcast, please take a moment to rate us on your favorite podcast platform. It really helps us reach more developers like you. Today, we're continuing our journey through Season 2, focusing on core Holepunch technologies. We're in Chapter 1, and we'll be diving into the key concepts and design principles of Holepunch.
That's right, Sheila. We've already covered an overview of the Holepunch ecosystem, and now we're going to unpack the fundamental ideas that make Holepunch unique and powerful.
Before we jump in, I've got a quiz question for our listeners. What design principle in Holepunch allows developers to use only the parts they need without being forced to adopt the entire ecosystem?
Ooh, that's an intriguing question, Sheila. It touches on a core aspect of Holepunch's philosophy. I think our listeners will need to pay close attention to our discussion to figure this one out. It's not as straightforward as it might seem at first glance.
Agreed, Victor. Let's start by breaking down some key terms. When we talk about Holepunch, we're referring to a suite of technologies for building peer-to-peer applications. Can you give us a quick refresher on what peer-to-peer means in this context?
Certainly, peer-to-peer, often abbreviated as P2P, refers to a network architecture where participants, or peers, share resources directly with each other without relying on a central server. In the context of Holepunch, this means applications built with these technologies can communicate and share data directly between users' devices.
Thanks for that explanation. Now let's dive into the key concepts and design principles of Holepunch. From what I understand, one of the core principles is modularity. Is that correct? And can you elaborate on what that means for Holepunch?
You're absolutely right, Sheila. Modularity is indeed a fundamental principle of Holepunch. It means that the Holepunch ecosystem is designed as a collection of independent, interoperable modules. Think of it like a set of building blocks. Developers can choose which blocks they need for their specific application without having to use the entire set.
That's a great analogy, Victor. So, if I'm understanding correctly, a developer could use, say, just the networking component of Holepunch without necessarily using its storage solutions?
Exactly. This modularity offers tremendous flexibility. For instance, a developer might use Hyperswarm for peer discovery and networking, but opt for a different solution for data storage if it better suits their needs.
I see. This leads me to wonder about how these modules work together. Is there a principle that governs how they interact?
Great question. This brings us to another key principle, composability. While the modules are independent, they're designed to work seamlessly together. It's like how Lego blocks from different sets can still fit together perfectly.
That makes sense. Now, security is always a crucial concern in software development. How does Holepunch address this in its design principles?
Security is indeed a cornerstone of Holepunch's design. The ecosystem incorporates cryptographic principles at its core. For example, all data in Hypercore, Holepunch's append-only log structure, is cryptographically signed. This ensures data integrity and authenticity.
That's fascinating. Can you give an example of how this cryptographic security might work in a real-world application?
Certainly. Imagine a peer-to-peer messaging app built with Holepunch. Each message would be cryptographically signed by the sender. This means that even if a malicious actor intercepted the message, they couldn't alter its contents without detection. Recipients can verify that the message came from who it claims to be from and hasn't been tampered with.
That's really powerful. It seems like Holepunch is designed with decentralization in mind from the ground up. How does this compare to other technologies in the space?
Great observation, Sheila. Holepunch is indeed built for decentralization from its foundations. This sets it apart from some other technologies that have tried to retrofit decentralization onto originally centralized systems. For example, while Ethereum offers decentralization for smart contracts and transactions, it still relies on a global state that every node must process. Holepunch, on the other hand, allows for more flexible and scalable peer-to-peer interactions.
I see. So, Holepunch seems to offer more granular control over decentralization. This brings me to another question. How does Holepunch handle data ownership and control?
That touches on another key principle of Holepunch: data sovereignty. In the Holepunch ecosystem, users have full control over their data. Unlike centralized systems, where your data lives on company servers, with Holepunch applications, your data can stay on your own device. You decide what to share and with whom.
That's a powerful concept. I can see how that would be appealing in today's climate of data privacy concerns. Are there any potential drawbacks or challenges to this approach?
Absolutely, there are challenges. For instance, if data is only stored on a user's device, what happens when that device is offline? Holepunch provides mechanisms for data replication and availability, but developers need to carefully consider these aspects when designing their applications.
That makes sense. As we wrap up, could you summarize the key design principles of Holepunch that we've discussed?
Certainly. The key design principles of Holepunch include: Point 1. Modularity, allowing developers to use only the components they need. 2. Composability, ensuring different modules can work together seamlessly. 3. Cryptographic security, baking in strong security measures at the core. 4. True decentralization, enabling peer-to-peer interactions without central authorities. Point 5. Data sovereignty, giving users control over their own data. These principles work together to create a powerful, flexible ecosystem for building decentralized applications.
Thank you, Victor. That's a great summary. Now, let's reveal the answer to our quiz question. The design principle that allows developers to use only the parts they need is modularity. Congratulations if you got that right.
Indeed, modularity is a key strength of Holepunch, allowing developers to tailor their use of the ecosystem to their specific needs.
That brings us to the end of today's episode. We hope you found this deep dive into Holepunch's key concepts and design principles informative. Remember to visit crashcasts.com, join our Discord community, or support us on Patreon if you enjoyed the show. Your engagement helps us create more content like this. Until next time, happy coding.